just came back from a walk and I was thinking about the ways in which my life has really shifted, specifically in the last couple of weeks. And it really aligns with the shift of the seasons, and in yoga philosophy, we've moved into this Vata season. Some might consider it like the Pitta Vata because there's still a lot of fire and heat being cultivated, but now in Vata, Vata is air, and we can see, with the fires, like these little sparks have created mass heat physically in our environment, as well as, I'm personally feeling it physically in my body. A lot of inflammation, a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, and they say in Ayurvedic medicine, this yoga philosophy, that this is one of the most unhealthy times of the year. But in balance with that, it's also a time of like real big celebration and accomplishment and joy and freedom that comes in these summer months. Freedom to move and to breathe and to be. But what's been happening in my body is a direct result of too much heat in a really dry internal patterning. And so I just wanted to share with everyone the things that I've been doing in the last couple of weeks to bring in a little bit more of the water element, a little bit more of the cooling sensations, the more restorative practices, and the things that I'm just seeing how this pendulum swing has taken me really far into the heat of my Leo fire, my own personal internal stoke, to a place where I can be more balanced, where I can use this increase in fire to, blaze a very specific path rather than, become a forest fire that's blazing out of control. And so a couple of those things are going to be shared. Well, all of these things are going to be shared in a resource page that I'm going to include after this. So if anything rings true for you or you're intrigued by, go ahead and just follow that link and you can find the resources that I'm talking about. So some of the really easy things that we can do. I take my dogs on a walk every single day, but I cannot take as long of walks as I used to. So instead of taking one big long walk, I'm taking a really short walk in the morning and a really short walk, or maybe sometimes longer if I'm feeling up to it, walk in the evening when it's a little bit cooler on either ends of the day. And that's also really helpful just to kind of like get your body moving right off the bat in the morning, and then before you sleep, kind of like work anything out that you may have accumulated from just being a human in this world. And some other things that I think have been really helpful for me in particular, going through the specific health ailments that I'm going through. So this can be applied to like you if you also are dealing with certain health problems, or even just if you're like really busy at work and you don't have a lot of time for self-care. These are just kind of things that have like helped weave into my current energy levels, which like sometimes I have energy to do things and sometimes I don't have any energy to even get out of bed. So that might be like sometimes you have time to do things and sometimes you don't have any time at all because you're a mother and you work, whatever the things that are filling your day. You're protesting, you're scouring the news. I don't know what we're filling our time with, but anyways. So I think it's really helpful to have things that you kind of like sign up for ahead of time that are already integrated in your schedule, so that when you do have the time, or you do have the energy, or you do have the health, the vitality, the life force to engage in the activity, that it's already there for you. So there's a lot, everybody pretty much that I used to take classes from has moved online. And there are plenty of platforms out there where you can take different types of movement practices. So what I would recommend is, this is what I've been doing, right? Take it or leave it, is having at least like 1 or 2 movement practices. It can be a week if you really have like a lot of time and energy, or it can be a month if things are like moving a little bit slower for you, like they have been me. And so that movement practice can be like a yoga practice. There's ways that you can sign up for yoga online. And then a lot of these places, they record their classes. So even if you can't show up at the exact time that they're having it, if something interests you and inspires you and you're curious about it, sign up and just have that recording, sitting on your computer, so that when you do have some free time and you realize like, oh man, I like actually can do something with this time right now, you have that recording that you can play back. So Yoga Refuge, where I teach yoga at, they send out the recordings for about 48 hours. Sedona Soulfire, my dance teacher, which is like this ritualistic embodiment class, she sends out recordings afterwards. Her classes once a week. Serpentine Studies is a really fun dance class that just has like pre-recorded dance classes that you can do all the time. There's a lot of different movement practices. Those are just some of mine that you can use and utilize when you're feeling up to moving your body. And you can do it in your own time, in your own way, in your own space, so that you don't really have to worry about what you look like, or if you can't keep up, you can just be with the practice wherever you're at, and your ego can take a back seat to that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I think it's really important to have new things that we're learning about. There's so much out there that is being revealed at this time, and there's so much access to knowledge and wisdom that is being presented to us to learn about ourselves, about our history, about the history of people around us, the truths of people around us. And so those times when you don't have the energy to get up and move, this can be an option of something you can do when you're just laying there, or if you're at work and you are able to take a lunch break where you can put in some headphones and listen to something and take a quick walk, or when you're laying in bed before you fall asleep, like instead of scrolling your phone, like listen to a class, learn something. And I'm saying this right now, I don't know who's listening to it, but I know that like my mom always listens to everything that I share. And so if anything else, I know that my mom is listening right now, and that these things could potentially be supportive for you. I just hope that they're supportive for other people as well. But so I'm just sharing some of the classes that I've been taking and learning are through the New Earth Mystery School. I'm blanking on her, like the name right now, the girl who facilitates, but she's a really incredible teacher and she has taught me so much. There are a lot of, anti-racism classes that are available right now if you really feel like you don't know what's going on in the world and you'd like to learn a little bit more about what's being taught. Be discerning with who you're learning from. Make sure you feel connected to the person. Don't just learn from someone because you feel like someone is telling you to, right? Like don't just go do the New Earth Mystery School just because I'm saying it's a cool class. It resonates with me, but find what resonates with you. And those classes are also recorded. So you don't have to show up, right when they want you to be there. You can have someone, take your power back and be empowered in your decision of when and where you decide to learn and how you decide to learn, and use your time wisely. I think it's totally okay, especially if you're just not feeling that great and you don't have energy to do a lot of things, to, watch TV and to, read books. I mean, always read books, but like read fun books if you want to. I've been reading a fun book for the first time in years, and it's like such a break from reading such like knowledge-based texts that I've been diving into lately. But take breaks from the news and from social media, and please take breaks from the news. Like if that's one thing that you'll take away from this, the news is taking a lot of our energy right now, and it's good to be informed and it's good to learn, like if you're using this learning time as like time to actually go and study what's happening in the news and take in information, like fine, great, but see if you can take in some new perspectives from maybe what you've been listening to, because there's a lot out there that can help you see life in a new way. And if we're just taking in mainstream media as the know-all and be-all of everything that is true in this world, we are limiting our reality from full exploration and full experience of what is possible here. So those are some of the movement and mind things. It's really helpful for me right now to be journaling. It's really helpful for me to be doing restorative yoga postures, like just laying in certain positions and decompressing. It's really helpful to put your body into cold water right now. I went and dipped in the river the other day, and it was like a blessing to my mind, body, and soul. If you can't go to a river, if you don't have that space in your life, turn your shower on cold right before you get out. Like, take it from that place of comfort and take it to a place where it kind of sparks that sensation. It's turning on your body in a new way. It's helping your body rebuild its cellular structure. There's a lot of scientific research on cold body water plunges. So don't take my word for it. Go do your own research if you don't believe me. But get your body in some cold water. Like, water your plants. Like, notice the water elements around you and feel as if you're also watering your own body in that. We can see the fire happening all around us. And so replenish, renew, restore, like get back into the flow of your life force. Some nutrition things that I think are helpful. And I'm not a nutrition guru. I don't eat that great in general, to be honest, but there is a couple things that I do and I'm doing very regularly now that I don't feel well that have been super helpful. So drinking warm water with lemon in it first thing when you wake up is a really good way to flush the body and to reset the digestive tract right off the bat in the beginning of the day. And you should do this, within the first hour or two that you wake up. And you can just do that. Hot water, warm water, actually right now, warm water, room temperature water, and lemon. And I also do a wellness drink that it's really helpful as well, which is this isn't probably standard, but I like to put green tea, lemon, honey, juiced ginger if you have it, cayenne pepper, turmeric, and cinnamon. I think that's all the things: lemon, honey, green tea. Yeah. And that is no matter what, if I drink that drink in the first thing in the morning, I feel at least a little bit better, sometimes 100% better. But especially if you feel like you're getting sick or anything like that, drink that right off the bat in the morning for at least a couple of days. And then when you decide to finally break your fast for the morning, breakfast, break your fast, do it in your own time, in your own way. My husband likes to wake up first thing in the morning and eat a big breakfast. And because he's such a good cook, I also always want to eat his big breakfast. But my body actually doesn't like eating that early in the morning. And when I've started to realize this and wait until my body is actually hungry, right? I'm actually feeling the hunger cues. My stomach is making some noises. I'm feeling maybe a little weak and I could use some energy. We eat food to gain energy, right? It's medicine. So waiting until you are hungry and until your body is telling you that it's time to eat, and then be intentional with what you break your fast with. If you're somebody that likes something sweet in the mornings, maybe try to have some fruit as your first sweet thing of the day. And then if that doesn't fulfill you, have your donut. I really think listen to your body, and I'm probably not the best expert, but if you're really craving, you need something that's more, then eat that too. But listen from a place of your body's cues. And if you drank that warm lemon water before you broke your fast first thing in the morning, I promise you're going to have at least a little bit better direct intuitive knowing of what your body wants to eat. And then throughout the day, I would say eat intentionally, pay attention to how you're consuming your food, where you're consuming your food, what else you're taking in, what else you're taking in when you're eating your food, because you're digesting and processing at this time while eating. And so if you're taking in a lot of other people's stuff, a lot of, social media, or even just listening to someone else's conversation, if you don't resonate with it, you're digesting it. So make sure that you digest only what is supportive for you at that time. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, one more thing I wanted to say is, for me in particular, I have been dealing with a lot of problems that are showing a big imbalance in my root chakra. And how that's showing up for me is my knee has been swollen off and on for the past month or more. I'm dealing with immune system issues, inflammation, pain of the liver, a couple other things like root chakra problems from what my knowing of it is. And it's like that I don't have any energy in my root. And when you don't have any energy in your root, my friend Chelsea Pine just gave this really amazing explanation that our root chakra system is like an elevator system, and you have to get in at the bottom. You have to get in at your root in order to ride the elevator to any of the other levels of your energy body and to ever get to the top of full seeing of everything that is around you and in front of you. So if your root chakra isn't activated, or if it's imbalanced and you can't get on that elevator, you can't go anywhere. Like me right now, like I can't go anywhere. I'm really homebound. So some of the things I've been doing to work with balancing out my root, and I feel like probably a lot of us are experiencing this. Like I usually experience things in my body that people experience in their energetic field in different ways, but it always usually is like around the same energetic center. And so if you're dealing with like the loss of a parent or grandparent or ancestor, or it's an anniversary of that death, or you just have a lot of fear around death or around dying or around your body not being able to support you, that is a time to do some root chakra work. So I'm going to post a meditation also in the research page, the resources page, research, I guess it can be your research. That is, rather than trying to call in support from above, we're always trying to like bring things in from our knowledge, from our crown, from spirituality, from God. This is going to be a meditation to call in support from below, to remember how infinitely supported we are right here, right now, in our own embodiment, in our own support system of this earth. Another thing that's been really supportive for me is to, when I am taking my 2 short walks in the morning or at night, or even just around my house, to feel my feet on the ground, pitter patter-ing along. And I'll tell you a little story about this. I was walking today and trying to pay attention to my feet, and for a moment I saw this beautiful flower garden, and I took out my phone and I was like, oh, I have to take a picture of this, put it on the internet so other people can see. I got in my head about it, right? So I took out my phone and dropped my dog's leash. He wandered off. And I just went to a little walking place in my neighborhood where a lot of homeless people sleep. There was none there today, but there's remnants of them around. There's a lot of trash and needles and things like that. And my dog happened to go into this little grove of trees where someone had clearly been sleeping. Like there was garbage around, it was flattened out. And I saw the leash dragging through this grove, and I was like, oh no, like virus, COVID, people, all the things that are coming up to make us want to like shut down and like fear everyone around us. And so I checked myself and I felt my feet back on the earth again. And I looked back at that grove of trees and I realized it was such a sacred grove of trees. It was perfectly surrounded by these like really tall, I don't even know what kind of trees they were, so I'm not even going to try to describe them, but they were perfectly balanced and aligned on every side, and there was just this perfect field of grass that looked like, honestly, so welcoming to go lay in and under. It looked like such a safe space from the earth, like a safe space made from the earth herself. And I realized in that moment like how lucky I am to be going home to a home that holds my body, and how somebody that laid in this grove of trees had nowhere else to go but to the earth. And in that moment when they saw that grove of trees, I'm sure they also saw what I saw when I was grounded in my own body, that was a safe place to be. And then I was so happy that they found it. So when you're walking, feel your feet on the ground. Feel yourself here and present and in the now. Feel yourself in your body. Breathe with your body. Love your body. Adorn your body. I've been in sweatpants for months now, and even though I'm still in what I wore to sleep, I put on a little something extra. I made myself feel a little bit more glamorous than I felt, all morning. And so many of us have spent this time of year celebrating with our friends and our family and our community. And we can't do that right now. But that doesn't mean that we can't get dressed up, and it doesn't mean that we can't dance, and it doesn't mean that we can't sing, and it doesn't mean that we can't be here now in the present moment. Just being happy that we're getting the little things done each and every day. I'm doing a training right now, last thing, and each day we work with a new mantra, which I know the power of mantras, but of course I forgot. And especially when you work with a new one each day in this way, it's like something new and exciting I get to come at my day with. So the one for today, this is a teaching from Reiki taught to me by Chelsea Pine. It's just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will be grateful. And so today, everything that I am doing is from a place of gratitude. And so thank you so much for watching this and being here and listening to me. If you're still here, I know, Mom, at least if anyone else, you are here watching. So thank you. And I hope that you take some of these things. It's a new week and a new opportunity to step into your own truth and to step into your own body and claim it as your own. So thank you, and I hope that this week is a good one. Just doing the best we can.